London, England. Historic, traditional, from Big Ben to Trafalgar Square. The views from the London Eye and the home of royalty, Buckingham Palace. Down the street across from Kensington Gardens sits the world-famous Royal Albert Hall, host tonight to the most prestigious mixed martial arts competition on the globe as the UFC invades the UK. This is the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Brawl at the Hall. This spectacular venue opened in 1871 by Queen Victoria, the Royal Albert Hall. The enthusiasm, the pageantry, unbridled. As the gates of the Octagon have gone global for the first time in nearly 2 years, a premiere for mixed martial arts tonight here in the UK. Welcome to the Brawl at the Hall. On the card tonight, we start with the light heavyweights. James Zikic, one of 4 Brits, the boxing champion, takes on Philip Miller, the American, who is 13-0 in mixed martial arts. Lightweight fight, Remedios, tough, scrappy Brit, boyish look, don't be fooled. He takes on the always entertaining Genki Sudo from Japan. And in the middleweights, Mark Weir, the fastest hands of the 4 Brits we'll see tonight against the Wolf, Eugene Jackson. We know he has a lethal left. And then in the heavyweight fight, we are very much looking forward to the welcomed return of the machine, Ian Freeman. This tonight, undoubtedly the biggest fight of his life as he takes on a slimmed down and scintillating Frank Mir. And finally, the title fight for the Welterweight Championship. We settle the score once and for all. The champion, Matt Hughes, the challenger, Carlos Newton. Our main event tonight here in London, England. Our ways to win here in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. As always, 3 judges score the bout duration, 3 5-minute rounds, notwithstanding the championship fight, which will be 5 5-minute rounds. Round winner gets 10 points. We score on a 10-point must system, the opponent getting 9 or less, based on effective striking, grappling, aggressiveness, and octagon control. We begin this evening with the light heavyweights.
This bout is 3 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Now entering the octagon octagon is an expert in combat grappling with a mixed martial arts record of 13-0-0. Standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 90.2 kilos, 199 pounds. Fighting out of Astoria, California, please welcome Philip Miller!
Philip Miller, a 13-0 record. He says, I like being unknown for having a 13-0 record. It makes him very dangerous. A good wrestler. He loves to ground and pound, and his win is definitely not a question. He says he can go all night.
A machine that never gasses is Philip Miller as he adjusts his knee guards and gets set for his UFC debut here tonight in London, England.
Now entering the octagon is a freestyle fighting expert with a mixed martial arts record of 16-2-0. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing at 91.8 kilos, 202 pounds. Fighting out of Watford, London, England. Please welcome the Messiah,
And Zikic, an astounding ovation, is a good striker. He is well versed in submissions, and Frank Shamrock has nothing but good things to say about this young man.
Well, the Brits love their own, and Zikic will have this bipartisan crowd in his favor tonight. Tail of the tape light heavyweight matchup. 25 years old is Zikic. Philip Miller makes his UFC debut at the tender age of 23 years old. 2-inch advantage with the reach of James Zikic. Good kickboxer. Our referee for our opening matchup tonight at the Royal Albert Hall is Larry Landless.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's rock and roll.
The UFC has arrived in the UK. Welcome to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. With the knee guards on is Philip Miller.
He's gonna clinch, time up high. Former BYU wrestler Philip Miller. An unblemished record.
29 combined mixed martial arts victories between these two competitors, Jeff.
Yeah, and only 2 losses, so you're seeing, you may not have heard of these guys, but these are the very best. And as I said before, it's Philip Miller says, I like being unknown. Most of the time you hear about these guys with these big records, but Miller's 13-0, and he's here to prove a point.
Well, Zikic well decorated in his own right, 2-time ABA London area boxing champion. And then he has gone on to be stellar in his performances in the IFC, WBC, and of course King of the Cage. So he's well versed in his mixed martial arts competition, and his resume is filled with some impressive wins.
Oh, tries to trip that outside leg.
Miller having a tough time getting his first takedown of the night. Zikic, good takedown defense here.
Oh, look for the throw. He had a tight hold on Miller's arm. Miller's in side control. So Zikic fell into a bad position. He's trying to get guard.
Zikic's got some skill on the ground as the wrestler tries to keep it very busy. That's Philip Miller.
Miller momentarily for a split second had mount, but Zikic, man, he just got out of it quick and got him back in the half guard.
Well, you talked about the conditioning of Philip Miller, Jeff. He's certainly trying to push the pace here in the first 2 minutes of our matchup.
Yeah, he says he never gasses. He says, I'm ready for this. Coincidentally, you mentioned some of his victories. He beat Shungo Oyama. Now, Oyama just defeated Renzo Gracie in Pride, so that's a big victory for Philip Miller.
Tries to deliver the big right. Did it connect?
Look at Miller standing up.
Yeah.
Wants to break the legs loose. Does so.
And a 1-2 combination.
He can't stand up. Look out for the bicycle kick. Wow, that was a big right hand.
So Miller trying to collapse upon the British fighter. Zikic who's up, and the crowd reacts. Well, they are passionate here for their own as Zikic gets a left. And now a right on Philip Miller.
Miller trying to get the takedown and does so. I think the heat just rose 5 degrees when Zikic made it to his feet.
It is a first tonight, but we certainly anticipate that the Brits will embrace this sport and show the type of passion they have shown over the years for their favorite sports, be it football, soccer, back in the U.S. and in North America, and of course their boxing champion Lennox Lewis. They love combat, and so far so good as Zikic was able to get to his feet, but just momentarily, and has the half guard applied on Miller here.
Yeah, Miller's staying very busy. He's continuously trying to improve his position, trying to drop a big elbow down on Zikic. He's in the half guard, but look at the balance. That's where that wrestling comes in. He'll use his hips to his advantage, sprawl that leg out, and move back to Zikic's half guard.
1 minute now remains in round one. Side control again. Keep him busy with those short shots.
He controlled Zikic's arm. He almost stood up, had a hold of the arm, and just drove him right down to the mat.
Miller, a former champion on the TV show Battle Dome, a competition, of course, similar to the old American Gladiators show.
Let's go.
People were saying, who is this pudgy guy? I'll tell you what, the so-called pudgy guy can put it to the best of them.
Yeah, man. Trains with Ted Williams, a former UFC competitor at the Williams Combat Grappling Academy in California.
And Zikic has some blood underneath the left eye.
Final 10 seconds. The pace being pushed by Philip Miller. Zikic doing a good job, though, so far in round one completed.
Then relax, take it easy. It's all right.
This
Relax.
130-year-old building
You're doing a good job.
will be electric tonight.
He's not done anything bad. You're doing a good job.
The only thing he's gonna do is try to throw heat on his feet. There's no heat. Protection. Take him down and give him everything, all right? That's all you gotta do, bro.
1 second when you were against that kid is that you stopped for a second. He could have thrown some heat. You can't stop. You gotta keep the action flowing.
Deep breath. Here, hold this.
The corner of Philip Miller.
Ted Williams, he's an octagon veteran.
This your day. This your day. Ain't nothing this guy's got.
Victory over
all right?
Mark Robinson.
You see body head. One couple times his body. Do that headshot that you
Hey, he's looking for his feet. He's looking to kick you.
Big fan of the mixed martial arts. Elle McPherson in attendance here tonight at the Royal Albert Hall, which was the first venue back in 1963 that the Beatles actually played a concert in. And Elle McPherson here in London and here in attendance tonight. This building has hosted it all, and now for the first time, it hosts the sport of mixed martial arts in the Super Bowl of mixed martial arts, the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
You ready? Are you ready? Let's rock and roll.
Here we rock and roll to round two. They touch. Zikic had a good combination on the feet in round one, Jeff.
And Miller kind of throwing him off.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Zikic, gets right back up. And the crowd is definitely going to react.
Oh, good forearm lands on James Zikic. Miller really working hard to get this takedown.
What's up, fence?
He's also switching from traditional to southpaw stance. From time to time. That'll throw an opponent off, especially if they have tape. And they'll watch a certain match expecting him to fight one way, and he switches it up. As they scour the outside of the octagon and push it away. And Miller wants this takedown bad. And Zikic throwing the shots as Miller sits down through the ankles trying to get the takedown. And there it is.
Man, he expended a ton of energy to get it, though.
Yeah, he did. I mean, Zikic was fighting it off, fighting it off. Now Miller's got the back. Standing, he's got a waist lock.
Larry Landless telling James Zikic he cannot grab the fence, and Zikic complies. Man,
Miller.
He cannot pull him down. He cannot get the takedowns he wants.
He is looking for that big throw.
And now Zikic takes his back. This has to frustrate Philip Miller.
Oh, yeah, he's going for his bread and butter. And a big knee. Lands to the head of Miller.
Now he's got both hook. No, just one leg hook, Jeff.
And he took a shot with the knee, and he is desperate to get this takedown. Now he has both legs. And,
still can't get it. What great takedown defense by James Zikic, and finally, it took him nearly 2 minutes.
Yeah, tremendous balance by Zikic.
Hammer fist. Bump him when he tries to crouch. There you go, drop it, buddy.
So here's a question. Shooting all those double legs and single legs. Is Miller finally going to get tired in a fight? It looks as though he has slowed down with those punches. And Zikic is getting back up to the feet. And one hook is in. And Zikic.
Wow. Zikic just missed with the uppercut. And tries with the left. Now at this point, is Miller's gas a bit empty?
It looks like he's getting a tad bit wobbly.
They both tried to knee at the same time.
Miller has the underhooks.
Great look. Great look here, Jeff, from our camera angle right on the side of the octagon. That takedown came a bit more quickly.
And now Zikic gives his back. Miller trying to get the hooks in. Almost in a mounted position, but ends up with only one leg through. Tried to throw what I like to call a push-off forearm. You'll put your palm of the hand on the guy's face, push the palm off and land a forearm. Zikic looks very calm.
As we sit in this hall that appears to be one that could be a home to gladiators. We see our modern-day gladiators competing inside the octagon. No surprise that Zikic's favorite movie, The Gladiator.
Watch your position, shag your hips.
Oh, step it over, full mounted position.
This could be dangerous. Miller gaining the control.
He has only 40 seconds to work. Look at Zikic.
Right off the fence, great move by Zikic. 30 seconds remains in round 2.
Oh, working in the guillotine choke.
Can he get any leverage from this position, Jeff?
I don't think so. Look at Miller controlling.
Do not grab the fence.
Just picks the ankle out right from underneath him.
He had the arm around the neck, but he had no way to extend the body, pinned up against the fence. Zikic avoids some potential damage here in round 2.
Stop, break easy. Hey, if you grab that fence, you're gonna have to penalize you. You understand? Don't grab it.
Let.
Take a deep breath. Deep breath.
Hey, your shot's doing great. Put the weight into it. What you're doing is you're backing away, and
Fill up.
your weight's not in it.
Hey, take deep breaths right now.
Keep your weight in on him. Pull the legs out from underneath.
Hey.
Take a look at this knee. Oh, right to the left side of the head by Zikic. And here's what I describe as that push-off forearm. Place your palm on the guy's cheek or head and shove it off really quick. And it's a nice, short, distracting, and sometimes damaging shot. And a nice escape by Zikic. This guy is just pouring it on. He's not giving Philip Miller an inch.
Set for round 3. Zikic, and Miller gets set with his shorts. Can Zikic get anything done on his feet here? Early part of the round. He is a well-decorated boxer here in the UK.
Last round. Are you ready? Let's rock and roll.
Third and final round.
This is where it gets interesting. So I don't think many of Miller's fights have gone this far. A nice combo. As Miller, standing in traditional stance, shoots in. Once again, he only has the single leg. Zikic thinking about throwing.
Well, he knows that Miller has worked very diligently to take him down the first 2 rounds. Question is, can he get him to use some more of that gas tank and then take advantage?
He's tired and he's holding on.
You hear his corner. He's tired and he's holding on, Jeff.
I think one of the factors here about Zikic, he's very religious. In fact, he took some time off from fighting because people criticized him, saying, how can you be a fighter and call yourself religious? And I guess he had to talk to God, and he's back in the octagon. And he is doing a heck of a job here tonight. Just when you think Miller had, guillotine choke. That is, he got an arm through.
Oh, my.
He's still trying to go for it. You can still choke someone out if the arm is through.
Does he have it? Will we get a submission? Holding on is Miller. And Zikic lets go. So now Miller fights through a submission attempt.
And for the first time in this fight, Miller is on his back. And Zikic is on top.
He had that landed and sunk in for just a moment. And then, as you said, Miller got his arm through, and that was the end of that. Potential damaging into this fight for Philip Miller. Zikic, I would think, behind on points, though, still, has to try to make something happen here in the third.
Plenty of time in the third. 3 minutes left. Your whole world can change in 3 minutes.
Open mouth breathing by Philip Miller.
Use it.
Zikic has really impressed me. Just when you
Zikic
think
with a
about
big
it.
right.
You think he's in trouble, and he gets back to his feet.
Action time, man.
And Landless warning him, so let's see some action. And Zikic delivers a right hand. Telling to cover his mouth.
Use it.
Well, Miller was totally protecting his face, and Zikic said, fine, I'll go to the midsection. Those arms come down, and then he hits the top part.
That was a good right.
And another. The crowd reacts here in England as the British fighter making his UFC debut, trying to gain back some desperately needed points. A forearm delivered to Philip Miller.
Improve this, guys. Let's go.
This is the third and final round.
Let's go. Let's go.
Another warning from Larry Landless, and another big right hand from Zikic, and he's trying to pass the guard. He's trying to get the hooks in. He is Miller may be out of danger, but he's got to look out for the armbar. And now Philip Miller is back on top.
I don't think Zikic would mind getting it back on the feet right here.
Now I got to give Philip Miller some credit.
Yeah.
He was in some serious danger there almost in danger of Zikic getting his hooks in and choking him out, but he got up and is back in control. Now Zikic, if this guy gets up again, this place is gonna go nuts.
He ate a couple on his way up, but he's up. And a knee, and a left.
Zikic needs to use that boxing. Both of them are noticeably fatigued.
Big right, 30 seconds. And Zikic got the right he wanted. Miller able to shake it off. 20 seconds remains. Zikic, can he finish it with one punch? That's what he wants. Miller is dazed. Miller's out of gas.
That one rocked. He goes 10 seconds.
Now there's 7. Gotta go for it. The right. Will he get it? The left. Another right. Time is going to expire. Oh my! They are on their feet here in England. The judges will be forced to render a decision.
Keep your gum shielded, all right?
That third round was a tough one to call. Back and forth.
Hands up!
What a way to open the night.
Nearly 2 years since the UFC has gone global. A highly anticipated evening tonight here at the historic Royal Albert Hall, named after Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband. And they are giving both Philip Miller and James Zikic quite a reception here. Zikic tried to land that guillotine. He almost had it, Jeff.
Yeah, he was working hard, extending his hips. See him pushing his hips forward, torquing. Trying to get Miller to tap out, but Miller got that one left arm through. That alleviates a lot of the pressure. But Zikic had it cinched. I got to give Miller some credit for getting out of that tight guillotine.
A flurry on the ground by James Zikic.
Yeah, but he was unable to finish Philip Miller, who we thought was in danger.
Yep.
Ooh, big right hand by Zikic.
Another 30 seconds, Zikic might have gotten the knockout he wanted. But was it enough in rounds 1 and 2 to gain the decision in favor of Philip Miller? Let's now find out. The judges have rendered their decision. Here's the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge Doc Hamilton scores it 29-28. Judge Jeff Mullen scores it 29-28. Judge Cecil People scores it 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Philip Miller. Let's have a big hand for James Zikic.
Another big round of applause for the Brit from Watford, the Messiah, James Zikic.
Good fight, you guys. Good fight.
That was a very nice start to the evening. Let's go up to the Octagon, Ryan Bennett.
Man, what a fight this was, folks. Great fight. Standing with the winner, Philip Miller. Philip, you fought most of your career at 185 pounds. You went up to 205. How tough was that?
It was a tough decision going up. Guys are a lot heavier to pick up. And you just get used to training harder to maintain a lower weight. So I felt I was a little lax here, but I always come out strong, never give up, you know?
Will we see you back at 185, or do you want to fight at 205?
I'll be back at 185 to take this belt.
All right, there he is, Philip Miller. The crowd is great. We love the UK, man. The fans are here. Let's go back to you guys at ringside.
Ryan, thank you very much indeed. The crowd energized here tonight at the Royal Albert Hall in London, England. the history, the pageantry, it is all here. And now the gates are open. Soon they will once again be closed for our next bit of competition. What a night! It is finally here. UFC 38, coming to you live from the Royal Albert Hall in London, England, is brought to you by the Gordon Bierce Brewing Company, beer like it ought to be. FairBBK.com, gear for the new generation, the equipment of champions. And by Crave Entertainment, publishers of UFC video games for the Xbox video game system from Microsoft, for the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system, and Nintendo GameCube system. The fans of the UK excited, as we are this evening, as this is the Royal Albert Hall in London, England. One of the finest and most historic buildings in this great nation, the United Kingdom. Hi again, everybody. Mike Goldberg, welcome to UFC 38, and welcome to what we hope will be the first of many events here in the United Kingdom. We date back to 1908 when amateur boxing appeared in this historic hall. And then, about 4 decades later, the sport of judo put on display here at Royal Albert Hall. The epitome of all fighting happened in 1971 when the greatest champion of them all, Muhammad Ali, put his skills on display here at the Royal Albert Hall. That until tonight, when what we feel are the world's greatest athletes, the world's greatest combatants, are here this evening at the Royal Albert Hall in London, England, as this is UFC 38, and this is the time where the score will be settled between Matt Hughes and Carlos Newton. Welterweight championship. We take you back to the first fight between these two competitors, MGM Grand November of last year. Early second round. Was Hughes already out when he slammed Newton to the ground and Carlos shook his head in disbelief, finding out that he no longer would be champion as Hughes would wear the belt? Jeff Osborne, it's the fight we've all been waiting for. The controversy has been talked about. We get to see it tonight. Carlos Newton and Matt Hughes.
In my opinion, the most controversial fight in mixed martial arts history. Matt Hughes got up in disbelief and said, "Did I win?" He also said, "I was out." Carlos Newton couldn't believe it, as it was a Rocky II type ending, and an ending so controversial, even Vince McMahon's WWE used a similar finish just a few weeks ago. Tonight, this may be the Royal Albert Hall, but this is not the ballet. This is the fight we've been waiting for.
Well, there's no question about it. It's the closest thing we've ever seen to Rocky and Apollo, with Rocky in the form of Matt Hughes getting up that time. Now, it is worthy of note, as the fighters arrived here in the UK on Monday, that during the official weigh-ins, the challenger, as he is, Carlos Newton, had no problem making weight, coming in great condition. But on his first attempt to be under the amounted pounds, Matt Hughes was heavy.
Champion Matt Hughes weighs in at 77.6 kilos. He's over by 0.6 kilos.
He would come back about 40 minutes later and comfortably make weight. I suppose comforting because he was able to do so. So the champion is here. He is ready to defend, but should there be a reason for concern? Are we surprised that Matt Hughes had trouble?
I'm a little bit surprised. I think there was some confusion over the actual weight on the scale, possibly the calculations from kilograms to pounds, but I don't think it's going to be a factor for Matt Hughes. He is a weight cutter. He does cut weight. This is the first time, though, in a UFC fight that Matt Hughes has not made weight and had to come back and do it all over. So that is an interesting factor.
All right, let's talk about Matt Hughes first. He was very vocal about the fact that anyone can win a championship. Well, we know not just anyone, but that you can win a championship because you get that opportunity to slam your opponent, he goes out. The proof of being a champion is in defense, and in his defense, he already has one of them.
Yeah, in my opinion, he defeated the number 170-pound fighter in the world, and that was Hayato Sakurai. And he had only one blemish on his record, and Matt Hughes mauled his way through to a victory. And tonight he has a tough task ahead of him, because I honestly believe that Carlos Newton is a driven man. And tonight he's going to try to prove that. But Matt Hughes, look out for the takedowns.
Well, only a few miles away from the crown jewels and the many treasures that lie on this great soil, we have an expression being used frequently by Carlos Newton. That is on loan. He says the belt has been on loan to Matt Hughes. It's his. He plans on getting it back to Cinek.
Oh, I know he wants it back. You know, the most controversial finish in mixed martial arts. Tonight, it's time to settle the score. Let's see who the man is going to be tonight. Will it be Newton? Will it be Hughes? Either way, we've got a great champion.
We certainly do, and we have it in the welterweight division. All right, it's a night that we've all been waiting for a long time. That fight later this evening, the welterweight championship, our highlighted event between Carlos Newton and the champion, Matt Hughes. Let's continue now with the lightweights.
This fight is 3 rounds in the lightweight division. Now entering the octagon is a Bushido-style fighting expert with a mixed martial arts record of 3-1-1. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 70.2 kilos, 155 pounds. Fighting out of Tokyo, Japan. Please welcome Zikic, the Neo Samurai, Sudo!
Well, to say the least, Genki Sudo's ring entrances may be reminiscent of pro wrestling, but his fighting style is very real. He is extremely unorthodox. He could goof off during the match and end up beating you. He has great submission, and he is trained with Bas Rutten, a former UFC champ.
A showman to say the least, the Neo Samurai, Genki Sudo. His opponent this evening is a Brit.
And his opponent now entering the octagon is an SWS Valley Judo fighting expert with a mixed martial arts record of 11-2-1. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 70 kilograms, 154 pounds. Fighting out of Ashford, Kent, England. Please welcome the British Brawler,
Well, he may look about 13 or 14 years old, but I can assure you he fights like a man. He's well-versed in submissions, and he likes to stand up and trade. I'm expecting nothing more than an exciting fight, as Remedios is a very well-rounded fighter.
Well, as one man aptly put it, his aggressive, high-octane attacking style belies his boyish look. And we will see that in a moment when asked what his biggest weapon is. He said, my attitude. Tail of the tape for this lightweight bout between the Japanese fighter and the British fighter. Remedios is 26, Sudo 24. Sudo 2 inches taller and coming in 5 pounds heavier. Or pardon me, 1 pound heavier. The centimeters being shown for our fans all over the world this evening. Our referee for this matchup, the veteran, Big John McCarthy.
All right, here we go, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on, come on.
Sudo unorthodox. Look at it. He has a ton of fun out there, there's no question about that.
I don't know if he's breakdancing or fighting. Look for the spinning tornado kick or anything. This will throw a man off more than any other factor in a fight.
We have been warned we could see a Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee impression tonight. We'll try to watch closely.
Remedios patiently circling out. It's going to take a while to figure a guy like Sudo out.
Remedios closes in. He's got to not become assumed or consumed with the showmanship of Genki Sudo.
And I can assure you, you will never see a fighter like Genki Sudo anywhere but here in the UFC.
This is fascinating. You know, it was good on tape. It's way better live. Oh, a good left. Sudo looking for the takedown. Remedios won't go.
Look at the hip movement of Sudo. Sinking down, recovers quickly. Remedios. He's got one hook under, as does Sudo, and one hook over.
Well, the reports are that Sudo has reset his priorities and truly is focused into being a mixed martial arts fighter and trying to be the best one he can, fighting out of his hometown in Tokyo. And down goes Remedios. So Sudo gets the first takedown of the night, about a minute 45 into round number 1.
You know, one thing I question about Lee Remedios has nothing to do with his skill, but it's his confidence level.
Yeah.
Sometimes he comes off a bit timid, maybe a bit shy. Can't be shy against a guy, especially the likes of Genki Sudo. Look at Sudo just picking him up.
Well, Remedios has 11 wins in mixed martial arts. What were the caliber of them? Well, some might argue, but the fact is he's been, Jeff, in your show a few times. He's a hook and shoot vet. I mean, here's a guy who's been around. He's ranked #1 lightweight fighter in the UK.
He's fought bigger guys. He's fought guys similar to size, and that is a record that you cannot dismiss. And Sudo needs to take him seriously. Although it may not look like that, I'm sure he does.
Attended the University of Kent, earned a first-class degree with honors in electronic engineering. He's an engineer during the day and training to be a fighter at night, and the British tabloids have certainly given the UFC some great press this past week, and lots of press, of course, towards the 4 Brits competing tonight. Remedios self-admitting he may be outclassed on paper by Sudo, but he's going to try to prove the critics wrong here tonight.
You see, Remedios is another guy who tries to work those legs up high.
You know, it looked like he looked for the spin on Lee Remedios there, as Sudo tries to work in and push towards the punches.
Way to get up by Remedios. He started backpedaling and Sudo on the attack. Look at Sudo, flying triangle. He went for the flying triangle.
Is Remedios out though, Jeff? That right arm still in danger, and he breaks through.
Wow, I've been waiting to see something like that for a long time here in the UFC.
Genki in Japanese means energetic, high-spirited. In fact, he was named after a comic strip that turned into a TV series in which his father was a big fan called Go Genki. And the fans might go Genki here tonight.
Got a triangle, it's cinched. Look at the forearms. Trapping him with the triangle, throwing the forearms. Remedios has his hand through. His head is slipping out. He could get out of armbar. Great escape by Remedios.
Well, that's 2 for Remedios. He does have some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training.
And Remedios, I expect, will look for a clear opening to strike, and there's the triangle once again.
Oh, he kicked up on Lee Remedios, and Remedios wants to bring it back up. Look at Sudo. Look at Sudo with his hands behind his head.
Remedios.
You can see why he's been in the movies. He's quite an actor.
Remedios is going to throw leg kicks.
And round 1 is completed.
Possibly one of the craziest rounds.
It was entertaining, to say the least.
And we thought Kyle Uno had a bizarre stance when he started a fight.
That's nothing compared to what we just
Lee,
saw
get
from
your
Sudo.
focus, start hitting him. Don't hesitate.
Bring it in. When he lets off a shot, one of those silly shots, then you combinate straight away. When he does one of those silly things, then you combinate.
He fires something, you shoot straight in. Don't wait for him, Lee. You wait for him. Remember what we said. This guy needs time. Remember what we said. This guy needs time and distance. See, he's doing exactly what we said. Yeah? He can't deal with you when you're close in. Boom.
Check this out. You won't see the heavyweights going for any of these. The flying triangle. Almost perfect, but Remedios stalls him out and gets the arm through. If he would have cleared the arm, it could have been over. And here's where he cinched the triangle in and landed about 5 or 6 forearm shots. But let's give Remedios an A for effort. He got the heck out of there and got out of there quick.
Well, let's see if when he does one of those silly things, Remedios combinates here.
Nice leg kick by Remedios.
We know the folks here in the UK don't really not say what's on their mind. In the corner of Remedios said exactly what was on their mind. Let him act as he will when he does one of those silly things.
And he did so with a good leg kick.
Oh, great takedown there. Outstanding work by Genki Sudo. A judo-type takedown.
Sudo is going to try to push his right leg through.
Looking good.
Remedios in great physical condition. See, he's not giving him any distance to throw those forearms. I think he wanted to throw a forearm. And Remedios came up with it.
You know, within the entertaining part of the show put on by Sudo is a ton of skills. And you can obviously see that. That takedown was outstanding a moment ago.
Yeah, I don't think you can see a mid-level fighter doing the things that Sudo does and get away with it.
And that just shows the mental confidence he has in most matchups, though, because we've seen tape on Genki Sudo where he's displayed the same type of showmanship.
Look at Remedios.
Oh, Sudo trying to lock it in. It's over! It's all over! Genki Sudo wins by submission. Just like that.
And if I have a feeling something's coming. Sudo worked his magic. Reminiscent of a Kung Fu movie.
How quickly he slapped it on, Jeff.
This guy is truly amazing.
Very nice. They touch of class. We are all one. Indeed we are. Remedios caught by the choke. Early part of this second round.
That was one of the fastest rear naked chokes. It's been a while since we've seen one in UFC. But Sudo has the tools, like I say, to stay 2 steps ahead of his opponent.
Absolutely. And he can get to those 2 steps rather quickly. Watch this judo throw. This could be in the movies, Jeff. Wham.
Legs completely launched in the air. And a different look from a different vantage point. Boom.
And the end of the fight.
Now watch how quick this happens. Remedios tries to buck out of it. Sudo gets a hook in immediately, throws his right arm through, applies the pressure with the left, and 2 or 3 seconds and it's all over.
And then the show is not over. Up to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke at 1 minute, 38 seconds of round 2. For the winner, the Neo Samurai, Genki Sudo!
Genki Sudo is with Ryan Bennett.
Folks, he put on a show for you tonight here in the UK. I haven't seen an entrance quite like the great Prince, the boxer, who many of the fight fans here know about. How important is it for entertain the fans as well as fight?
どうやってみんなを楽しませようとしたのか。
I'm professional, so I just try.
And he's breaking out the English now. We see it. At 155, what can you do in this weight class? How quickly do you feel you could become a champion in the weight class?
まあ155キロだけど。
I'll be champion, so that's it.
Short and sweet. You gotta love it. Genki Sudo, congratulations. Mike, back to your ringside.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Short and sweet as it was in his great use of the rear naked choke.
Unbelievable action. I really like watching the lighter weight guys. The speed of Sudo amazes me.
So Sudo by submission. Well, for our fans in North America, great action coming ahead.
The future is smack in your face. Ultimate Fighting Championship at Bellagio, Las Vegas. Top light heavyweight contenders Chuck Liddell and Vitor Belfort meet in the octagon for a title shot with champion Tito Ortiz. Plus, an exciting undercard featuring the toughest mixed martial arts fighters in the world. Ultimate Fighting Championship at Bellagio, as real as it gets. Friday, August 16th on pay-per-view.
And highlights in that show from the matchup you saw with Lawler and Berger. And then our next live event will be Friday, September 27th, a heavyweight clash between Randy the Natural Couture and Rico Suave Rodriguez. We look forward to our live return to the US September 27th for Couture and Rodriguez. That will be our main event at UFC 39. UFC 38 continues now, and it continues with the middleweights.
This fight is 3 rounds in the middleweight division. Now entering the octagon is a freestyle fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 11-4-0. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 83.9 kilos, 185 pounds. Fighting out of Redwood City, California, please welcome the Wolf, Eugene Jackson!
A 7th trip to the octagon for the Wolf, Eugene Jackson. And this is one that many have talked about behind the scenes. Jackson, a heavy puncher. We've seen him knock out people lefts and rights. Very strong. He has worked on his submissions. He has taken advantage of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu recently. And we will see what he has for the UK fans.
His children, Nico, Casey, and April, watching at home. Eugene Jackson is set to try to take himself above the 500 mark.
Now entering the octagon is a kickboxing expert with a mixed martial arts record of 16-0-0. Standing 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 82.5 kilos, 182 pounds. Fighting out of Gloucester, England. Please welcome the Wizard, Mark Weir.
He is known as the Wizard. He is going to have a very, very big reach over Eugene Jackson. He is a good striker, well-versed in submissions. And this is going to be, in my opinion, one of the more interesting fights on the card.
Fast hands against heavy hands. Tail of the tape middleweight matchup between the British fighter Mark Weir, 2 years younger than Eugene Jackson, and a heck of a reach advantage. Jackson weighed in officially 3 pounds heavier. And Weir is a kickboxing veteran, so he will try to use that reach advantage. Larry Landless, our referee, set to get it underway.
Are you ready? Let's rock and roll!
The Wolf and the Wizard meet Jackson in the red trunks, Weir in the black trunks. Oh my, did you see that high kick? And it's over! It is all over! Mark Weir knocks out Eugene Jackson in what has to be the quickest knockout in UFC history! Oh my!
Eugene took a shot. He's trying to get up. A little disappointed in himself, but man, this crowd, I don't think there's anybody sitting in their seat here. I didn't even get a chance to talk about it.
Did you see how long that leg was of Weir, and the concern on his face, the show of class and sportsmanship? Eugene Jackson regaining his composure as Weir got him and got him good. Wow.
Someone's just made an impact.
A high and very loud impact. Our doctors attending to Eugene Jackson. Watch it from the top to the bottom as Jackson regains his feet. And watch the foot of Mark Weir, Jeff.
Man, that's like trying.
Let's rock and roll!
Look at this.
Oh, was the right hand right on the chin. Right on the chin as the crowd reacts to the replay.
Looked as though a giraffe was thrown out there as long as the leg is of Mark Weir.
I mean, that was amazing. And up is Eugene Jackson. And they are on their feet again here at the Royal Albert Hall.
You're all right, my man.
What's the date today?
Another look, another angle.
Here it comes. Move out of the way of the leg and pound with a right hand.
Reach advantage. Got him right on the chin.
And Eugene woke up right there. Just a couple of seconds. That's all it takes. Jackson's fine now.
We have never had a fighter seriously injured inside the octagon because of the great staff. And look at the smile on the face of Eugene Jackson. The moment we wanted now. Jackson is fine. Weir is the victor. To Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history. 10 seconds of the very first round. For the winner, the Wizard from Gloucester, England, Mark Weir.
10 seconds, the official time of the knockout, which has to be the fastest knockout in UFC history. Here's Ryan Bennett with our victor.
That's right, guys. Well, he wanted to make a statement. I think everybody here in the UK heard it loud and clear. Mark, congratulations first off. And what's it like to fight right in front of your own home fans right here tonight?
I'm very proud. I had a lot of pressure. The media attention is amazing. For all the years I've been doing martial arts, first time I feel recognized as a sportsman, athlete, and I have to live up to it. That's all I kept thinking to myself. I have to live up to it.
Let's show you the replay. I want you to take me through this knockdown. We're going to show it on the big screen. Take me through what you saw here to get the knockout.
Well, as I was bouncing forward, I knew that I was just going to throw him with my legs and then come in with my hands. I didn't intend to actually hit him with a hook kick, but I just tend to throw it past his face just to blur his vision. And luckily, I landed first. As one of us was going to be knocked out, it was either me or him. I landed first.
Tell me what it means for you to fight in the UFC, the premier organization in the world.
What it means? Woo! That's what it means. It's the best. I don't know what to say, really. I was proud. I was injured last time I was offered to fight in the UFC, and I was disappointed. I thought that messed up my chances. They came over here and offered me again on my own turf. I can't believe it.
What's next for you in this weight class? Who do you want to fight, man?
Well, my fights don't last long. I don't feel like I'm getting enough experience. Let's keep getting faster and faster. What I want is a real good test, and then head for that title, Remedios, Bustamante, whoever it is got it, I'll be gunning for them.
He's London's own Mark Weir. Congratulations, great fight, Mike. Back to you.
Weir quoted as saying the UFC is where legends are made, and this will go down as a legendary knockout. Weir's hero, Muhammad Ali. And the great champion would be proud of that right. That closes the night of Eugene Jackson. Mark Weir goes to 17-0 in his mixed martial arts career. This is the place to find out all about it.
The Ultimate Fighting Championship is totally new, and that includes the UFC's official website. www.ufc.tv is your new official source for the latest in the world of mixed martial arts and its premier event, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Log on now to check out a comprehensive photo and video clip library from past events, complete fighter profiles of all your favorite UFC stars, and the latest from the all-new line of official Ultimate Fighting Championship merchandise, including hats, t-shirts, and shorts for both men and women, plus autograph cards, posters, digital trading cards, home videos, and DVDs. So log on now to the .1 event and #1 website in mixed martial arts, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, at www.ufc.tv.
Now, what a night. We've had one go the distance. We have had one in by submission. And now we have a KO in the largest statement ever made by a British fighter here in the UFC. And speaking of a large and dangerous British fighter, another one is up now as we get set for this heavyweight matchup.
This fight is 3 rounds in the heavyweight division. Now entering the octagon is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert with a mixed martial arts record of 4-0-0. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 107.7 kilos, 237 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, please welcome Frank
A very trimmed down, minus about 15 pounds of body fat, Frank Mir. He is more confident than ever. We have seen him. I'm talking about the excellent submission. Very agile for a heavyweight, and he's displayed it before. He continuously works on his striking skills.
A love for striking, but still a ruling of the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for the slimmed down Vegas boy, Frank Mir. This will be the first time he doesn't fight in front of the hometown crowd.
And his opponent now entering the octagon is a ballet judo expert with a mixed martial arts record of 12-5-0. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 99.5 kilos, 219 pounds. Fighting out of Sunderland, England. Please welcome the Machine, Ian Freeman.
Look at that view. This place is tailor-made for this octagon, and Freeman says it's tailor-made for him.
Ian Freeman, undoubtedly this is the biggest fight of his life, and with that, with the pressure and the opportunity, victory is paramount.
It feels weird, but it feels like a lot of pressure also. A lot of pressure to win, because I can win all the time in America, nobody knows about it. I lose once in England, everyone thinks I'm a failure.
He's right. Will he lose here, though? The Machine is back inside the UFC. Ian Freeman, this is his 4th appearance inside the octagon.
Well, the fans here in their hearts, he is a winner. He is heavy-handed. I watched him spar the other night with UFC champ Josh Barnett. He looked great. He looked stronger than he has before. And as I said, he has been training with Josh Barnett for the last month in preparation for Frank Mir.
If he defeats Mir, it might be with those heavy hands. And it was nearly 100 years ago that boxing first graced the Royal Albert Hall. Now tonight it's mixed martial arts, and here's the tale of the tape. Much older is Ian Freeman, a dozen years. 6'2" is Mir, 237 to Ian Freeman's 5'11", 219. The one thing, though, about the large Frank Mir, he still is cat-like in his quickness, which is why he's so effective with his jiu-jitsu. Our referee, Big John McCarthy.
All right, here we go, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on, come on!
The Machine against Frank Mir, Sunderland, England's own. There's a right, he connected.
Mir looks like he's ready to, oh
my, a high kick by Mir. And Mir wisely shoots.
I got a little tense there. There were some heavy blows being thrown. And look at Mir trying to work for the submission.
And that's his best thing. Oh, left by Ian Freeman.
And Freeman caught him with a big right standing. And Freeman's pushing him against the fence. And look at Mir trying to work his left leg over. Freeman pulls the arm out quickly.
Well, Freeman has said that he doesn't think Mir has ever been tested and pushed in the way that he is going to attempt to push him. And he's pushed him very, very quickly here. Watch the extension to all the body here.
That is a very unorthodox knee bar being put on Ian Freeman. And Freeman is up. There's a knee. Another knee.
And another knee. And an uppercut that catches Frank Mir.
Mir is in trouble.
Freeman tearing off. Freeman, another right. He gets ahead, another uppercut to Frank Mir, an undefeated UFC fighter.
That knee just bent Frank Mir over.
That's it. Next time you're going out.
Many people have written off Ian Freeman as the older guy. Look at Mir. He dropped his hands completely trying to pull that leg in.
Well, he knows he doesn't. He knows. Maybe he fought before. Now he knows he doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with Ian Freeman.
He's got full mount, but he has definitely slowed down. He has the arm trapped.
This is where Freeman can be vulnerable.
And Mir looks very stunned right now.
Flip right over the top.
Mir looks very stunned.
Can he get the heel? Can he get the knee? Oh, a big right by Ian Freeman. And another and another. He is teeing off Ian Freeman. Mir wants the submission.
Oh.
Can he get the leverage on the ankle?
Freeman's been working the leg game with one of the best. Josh Barnett, look out for the outside heel hook.
That's a great point.
Look at Freeman.
Freeman And the submission man trying to submit. Does he have any leverage on it, Jeff? Obviously not.
He got out. Mir got stunned in the opening seconds, and I am not sure if he's recovered. He is slowed down. The triangle looks slow, and Freeman's getting out.
McCarthy telling Freeman to let Mir up. A left. And Mir tries to shoot again.
I think,
Big left and a right by Ian Freeman.
Mir completely rethought about standing up with Freeman and shot in for the takedown.
Last time in the octagon for Ian Freeman, September of 2000.
That is a heavyweight.
Freeman at 220 pounds, rock solid, knows this opportunity is the biggest of his lifetime. As he said quickly, if he wins overseas, nobody knows. If he loses in England, he's considered a failure.
Freeman just riding on him. I don't think he should go for a submission against a guy like Mir because Mir can quickly reverse it. Keep throwing the strikes like he's doing.
You don't want to get overzealous with Frank Mir.
And there's some heavy forearm shots. Mir is in trouble.
45 seconds remaining in round one. Freeman trying to stop it. Mir pushing away.
Frank spitting out the mouthpiece and a big left hand. Mir trying to go for knee bar, and he looks exhausted.
Ian Freeman spent over 6,000 pounds in training expenses for this fight.
Mir can barely stand up. He cannot even stand up.
Timeout called. Frank Mir goes down again. Will they have to call it? The doctor's going to come in and look at Frank Mir.
You want to continue? You want out? You want to continue?
It's over. It's all over. McCarthy has stopped the fight. Ian Freeman has defeated Frank Mir.
And this crowd is indescribable, Mike.
They are on their feet again.
I almost said during the bout that before it started, Frank Mir was the most confident I've ever seen as this crowd picks up the Freeman chant. And Mir never recovered from the opening seconds, but he held on the best he could.
And here are the opening seconds. As the machine raises his arm in victory, once the fight was stopped by Big John McCarthy, and this concert hall, home to so many great events, the Royal Albert Hall, a bipartisan English crowd, loves what they saw here.
Look at these right hands. Mir going for inside heel hook. And Freeman tagging away. It's time to give up that submission to defend the strikes.
This building is electric.
And here it's where he was walking back to the corner. A glazed over look, and Mir just collapses. People wrote off Ian Freeman. He was an unbelievable underdog on many of the sports books, and he just made a lot of people a whole lot of money.
When asked if he went to college and earned a degree, as Frank Mir is just fine. Ian Freeman said, I went to the University of Life and I got honors. He earned honors tonight. Up to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 4 minutes, 35 seconds of the very first round, referee Big John McCarthy has stopped this bout for the winner from Sunderland, England, the Machine, Ian Freeman.
So Ian Freeman, the Machine, back in the UFC. and wins in impressive fashion over young Frank Mir. Here's Ryan Bennett.
Wow, what a performance. This guy was a heavy underdog going in, but he showed why he is back in the octagon. Ian, congratulations, first of all. And take me through this fight, man. You landed some big bombs early, and it just seemed like you stayed on him the entire time.
Sorry to go off your question, but I've just got one thing to say. Yo, England, I did it!
Ian, here's the replay. Let's show you, take us what happened here.
I knew he was going to start throwing big kicks and punches to put me off balance, to take me down. I was ready for the sprawl, and I knew if I connected with big punches, I could cut him, maybe even knock him out.
Ian, you had a guy named Josh Barnett in your corner. Talk about how important he was to help you out in this fight.
Josh Barnett is a godsend. I went to train with Josh for 4 weeks in Seattle. I hated him at the time because he put me through hell. But Josh is now my brother. I love him to bits, and I will be back. Can I just say one thing? My father, I dedicate this fight to my father. He is lying in a hospital bed, dying of cancer. I was going to throw the fight because a week before I came here, my father was rushed in. He had cancer of the brain and ended up blind. So for you, Daddy, I love you.
Well said, well said. Ian, one more question. Who do you want to fight in the heavyweights? Who out there do you want to fight, man? What's next for you?
I'll fight whoever's up, forgive me. I'm ready to fight anyone. Hopefully Josh will still train me. I need a couple of fights before I get to the title, maybe. But I'll fight whoever they put in front of me.
London's own Ian the Machine Freeman. Frank Mir is up on his feet. He's back in the locker room now. Let's go back to Mike at ringside.
Hoisted out in front of this British crowd in the 130-year-old Royal Albert Hall. Treated like the Beatles were in 1963 when they had their first concert here. And a thank to Josh Barnett. Our prayers, our thoughts are with Ian's father, who Ian says is his hero. Ian's father, an ABA boxing champion, and at age 18 was the one who started Ian Freeman boxing. Fighting now again in a much larger fight. Our prayers are with the Freeman family. This was his night, the one he trained his entire life for. The British can be cruel when things do not go their way. They can be critical, but they will have nothing to criticize Ian Freeman about after that absolutely spectacular performance. Chuck Liddell giving him congratulations, along with Don House, the fine boxing coach of Tito Ortiz. Freeman taking his time, as thus he shall, because he has earned this walk of pride. And he will enjoy it and enjoy it more. Elvis Cinek, competitor earlier tonight. We will have some preliminary fight matchups shown to you still on the card this evening. So after our welterweight championship, don't go away. Coming up next, though, is the main event here from UFC 38. The Brawl at the Hall. Matt Hughes, the champion. Carlos Newton, the challenger. The welterweight championship, the score will be settled once and for all. Hughes and Newton, the fight they have been talking about since the last one ended in November by a stunning finish. Tonight's host venue, the Royal Albert Hall in London, England. As UFC 38 is being brought to you by the Gordon Biersch Brewing Company, beer like it ought to be. FairBBK.com, gear for the new generation, the equipment of champions. And by Crave Entertainment, publishers of UFC video games for the Xbox video game system from Microsoft, for the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system, and Nintendo GameCube system. Welcome back to UFC 38. Welcome back to London, England, and welcome to the Brawl at the Hall. Well, we knew it would be loud, we knew it would be enthusiastic, we knew it would even be more so if the Brits were successful. And back-to-back we see Mark Weir, and as I did the quick math, he has documented the fastest knockout in UFC history. It took Tito 32 seconds on Evan Tanner with the slam. Took Frank Shamrock 22 seconds on Igor Zinoviev, those two of the present-day knockouts. And then, how about Ian Freeman and his performance, Jeff?
Many people didn't expect it. I, for one, thought that Ian would be in danger. I watched him train when I got here, and it looked like a rejuvenated Ian Freeman. He looked stronger, he looked much more crisp with his hands, and he got to use them. Not only is this guy a fighter, he says he's a lover too, and he's also an author. He's written a book.
He's written a heck of a book, or maybe one of the middle chapters, because this will not be the final chapter for Ian Freeman. Of course, Sudo was outstanding, but now we turn our full attention to the main event. The welterweight championship matchup between Carlos Newton and Matt Hughes. Our welterweight contenders, brought to you by Full Contact Fighter Magazine, FCfighter.com. Of course, as of now, Hughes is at the top of the list, with Newton shortly there behind.
Yeah, I think they can share that top of the list if you want my opinion. Hayato Matsudarai will be there for a very long time. Matt Hughes knocked him down. Pat Miletich moved up a weight division, and Anderson Silva, also victorious in Pride recently, he moved up a weight division. So this is clearly wide open for some of these new young stars, such as Robbie Lawler could make an appearance in the top 5 pretty soon.
And ironically, Robbie Lawler, of course, training out of the Miletich camp. Right now it's Hughes and Newton, and certainly what Carlos Newton wants to do is move that one step up the ladder.
I think Carlos Newton has more weapons in his submission arsenal, obviously, than Matt Hughes. But Matt Hughes is a neutralizer. He comes from one of the best camps out there who can neutralize their opponents and cause them to lose. And he's done it to so many people. And tonight, I haven't looked forward to a fight like this in a very long time. This is one I've been dying to see.
Well, certainly the most dramatic finish in UFC history occurred in November 2001 at the MGM Grand. And since that day, Carlos Newton has felt that his belt was on loan. It was only in the house of Matt Hughes temporarily. Well, for the belt to move back to Canada and around the waist of Carlos Newton, he needs to defeat Matt Hughes here tonight.
The last time they met, the octagon shuddered from the force of a tremendous slam. And when it came to rest, the welterweight title had changed hands. Tonight, they take to the octagon for one more explosive fight for the championship. At UFC 31, Carlos Newton became the UFC welterweight champion, defeating legendary champ Pat Miletich by submission. Miletich later gained revenge when his protege, Matt Hughes, defeated Newton in a controversial finish to become the champion. Did Hughes slam Newton, or did he simply fall because Newton had choked him unconscious?
He's out! He's out! He's
Hughes has the look of disbelief on his face. Look at him. He didn't even know he won the title, Mike.
I remember if he jumped on those, it's over. But I thought he meant for Matt. Oh, my God. Oh, crap.
You're gonna have to excuse me. I'm just waking up from a dream. Guys, this is awesome. I thought I choked him out. I believe that was the only reason he fell to the ground. Seems to me they were both out.
Newton got back on track by going to Japan and defeating highly ranked Brazilian fighter Jose Pele Landigians by submission. Newton is hungry for the rematch, feeling physically and mentally ready to retake the title. Pound for pound, Matt Hughes is one of the strongest champions the UFC has ever known. And with a mixed martial arts fighting record of 26-3, Hughes utilizes both incredible strength and experience to defeat his opponents. Known for his explosive takedowns, Hughes has also shown a flair for crushing punches. He proved it by destroying longtime top contender Hayato Sakurai in his first title defense. Now, he's ready to prove he has the heart and power of a champion. Was Matt Hughes' victory over Newton a fluke? Who is the best fighter in the world at 170 pounds? Let's find out. Coming up next, the battle of the evening, Carlos Newton versus Matt Hughes for the Ultimate Fighting Championship welterweight title.
So what will we find out in perhaps the next 25 minutes? There are so many questions still left unanswered, even though these two great competitors have fought once before. And one of the questions out there is, Hughes is the champion. He's defended once. Newton wants it back so desperately. Does that give him that little extra eye of the tiger?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Newton wants this more than he's ever wanted anything. I saw him take a knee to the head in Pride, and it's going to be talked about for years, and he got back up, looked in Pele's face, and submitted him. I think he is more determined than ever, but Matt Hughes is a guy who constantly improves his game, and he is virtually unstoppable. And when you say pound for pound, and we're not only talking about one of the best fighters, but he will pound and pound you into submission.
And there's nobody stronger, undoubtedly, in the sport of mixed martial arts in this weight class, perhaps in the entire world, because that is Matt Hughes' game, is that pure brute strength. And sometimes, as good as your technique may be, as many opportunities as you may have for submission, that pure strength of Hughes will break right through it.
It could take him completely out of the game. I don't think there's anyone as strong as Matt Hughes in the 170-pound division. I don't think he'll ever be matched in that department. He's the champ. I got to give him credit. I'm giving both guys credit. I'm ready to close the book on this one and see who the real man is.
Well, I've got no problem with a rematch here. In fact, I don't think anyone in the fighting world has a problem with the fact that we are about to have the welterweight championship fight, Hughes and Newton again.
Newton is a ball of energy, explosive, and certainly skilled.
Carlos Newton.
The man I always say, he's not quick. He is sudden. 2 steps ahead of his opponent in almost every mixed martial arts competition. Carlos Newton, he has displayed them many times on many different continents. Excellent at submissions. The chin made of iron and unbelievable conditioning. I can't wait for this one. I'm almost speechless about this.
Creative and introspective, to say the least. His heroes, Muhammad Ali, Albert Einstein, and Batman. Well, will he be robbing Hughes of his title here tonight? It's time for the champion to enter the octagon.
Champion of the world, Matt Hughes.
Look at the strength of Matt Hughes. He brings him
And now entering the octagon, the champion, Matt Hughes.
They do some farming in Illinois. No doubt about it. Tonight, can he plant Carlos Newton into the ground. He did it numerous times. An excellent wrestler. And pound for pound, the strongest athlete in mixed martial arts, in my opinion. And he has worked on those striking skills.
Not often is the champion the underdog, but that's the case tonight. Hughes ever improving with his striking under the tutelage of Pat Miletich. As Carlos Newton and Matt Hughes have waited since that moment, shortly after the second round in November, to do it again. Tail of the tape, welterweight championship tonight from London, England. Hughes is 28, Newton 25. Everything else is equal. For the official introductions for this, our main event, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this UFC Championship bout is sanctioned by BAMA, the British Association of Mixed Martial Arts, with Mr. Dale Adams, Commissioner. Our judges at Octagon side are Mr. Cecil Peoples, Mr. Nelson Hamilton, and Mr. Jeff Mullen. This event is sponsored by the Gordon Biersch Brewing Company. Beer like it ought to be. And now, it's time to begin the Brawl at Royal Albert Hall. Tonight, 2 men have entered the Octagon, and only one will leave a champion. This fight is 5 rounds for the UFC Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, the fighter standing to my left. He is an expert in Dragon Ball Jiu-Jitsu and the former UFC Welterweight Champion, being the first Canadian fighter to ever win a UFC championship. He holds a mixed martial arts record of 11-5-0, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 76.6 kilograms, 169 pounds. Fighting out of Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, he now brings his Dragon Ball power of the sun into the Octagon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Ronin, Carlos And now, introducing the fighter standing to my right. He is a Miletich fighting systems expert with a mixed martial arts record of 26-3-0. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 77 kilos, 170 pounds. Fighting out of Hillsboro, Illinois, he is the UFC Welterweight Champion of the World. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt Hughes. And when the action begins, our referee in charge is Big John McCarthy.
We have waited months for this night to arrive and for this fight to begin. Carlos Newton, the challenger. Matt Hughes, the champion. Our referee, Big John McCarthy.
All right, here we go, UFC Welterweight Championship. Are you ready for it? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
They
Come on,
continue
guys.
and try to put a positive ending to the battle that began in November.
It was all smiles at the weigh-ins, but that was one of the most intense stare downs I've seen. Hughes throwing a kick.
Man, there was a serious stare down too, and a look in the eyes of Carlos Newton as Buffer made the official introductions. Hughes will look to engage.
Newton fighting a very, very patient fight. Double jab. Hughes backs away.
Well, when he won the title initially against Miletich, he was losing the striking battle to Pat Miletich.
Look at
and
that.
Hughes got a shot in, and Newton's down, but Hughes is in the half guard.
Newton went for a takedown for a change, and now Matt Hughes shows that tremendous wrestling balance.
You know, we talked about that the last few days. When you're a wrestler and you've done this thousands of times, you just don't lose that balance. You don't lose that great center base, and Hughes demonstrated it there. Watch the arms. So
he's got it.
Can he land it? Can he finish it? He's getting out. Is it over?
Oh!
No! Hughes is able to avoid the armbar. Oh my! How close was that?
I thought he had it.
Hughes spun with it nicely there, Jeff. Don't give him that, you hear Pat Miletich say. You said it before, he's not quick, he's sudden. And he almost put a real sudden ending to this fight.
Yeah, I didn't think he could even maneuver around the fence like he did. Shot the leg over. Look, he pulls his own foot in. He's using foot in the hip control. This enables him to
He was trying to tee off and pass guard. But if he overextends those arms, Newton will try to jump on it again.
And he has side control, Newton.
I think Hughes knows he's in for the toughest fight of his life tonight. Because this will be the best we've seen of Carlos Newton.
You know, Matt Hughes may be 170, but he hits like he's a heavyweight.
Oh, unquestionably.
Let's go.
There's a north-south position.
Oh, work it out.
Hughes with that title defense over Sakurai back in March.
Carlos Newton actually went up a weight division when he defeated Pele.
Well, certainly the English love the Canadians, as the Canadians still expose the Queen on their money. And so I think this English crowd will take the side of Carlos Newton.
Look at Newton. Patiently awaiting an opening. Matt Hughes trying to tie that arm up. And Hughes has Newton's right arm, trying to tie his left arm up, rather.
This whole card tonight, Jeff, live on Sky Box Office, Sky TV here in the UK. We thank our friends at Sky TV and Sky Box Office for their support and belief in the sport of mixed martial arts here across the Atlantic.
He's got got his arm out of there. Also live on Wow TV in Japan.
With English commentary again, in which we understand was well received the first time.
Oh, there's the shoulder. He throws the shoulder down.
And don't think there aren't a bit of shudders that occur on the back of the head when he throws that shoulder down with force. This is the strength mode. This is where Hughes has such a huge advantage over anyone his size, and maybe even some who are a little bit bigger than he. 1 minute remaining in round one. Remember, it's a championship fight, so it's scheduled for 5 minute rounds.
I would be interested to see just how much Carlos Newton has in the final round. I want to see a seesaw battle. I mean, thus far, I give credit to Matt Hughes for getting out of that armbar.
The four-time collegiate All-American in wrestling. His high school football coach is here in support. Of course, his twin brother, Mark. Pat Miletich, the leader of the Miletich Fighting Systems, in his corner. And Newton well surrounded by his supporters.
You know, when you grapple with Matt Hughes, I get the impression. Oh, he's tying their arm.
Oh, wow, good finish to round one for Matt Hughes.
Stop it right there. Stop it right there.
I was about to say, when you grapple with Matt Hughes, it's got to feel like two guys are just trying to maneuver and out-wrestle you.
Back on my back.
If you're in 69 position, listen to me. Don't let him put his feet on the cage. If he's trying to change, half guard to side mount, he's going to keep that position, okay?
You can't let him point you 5 rounds, okay?
Okay, so he can't move his hips on you. All right?
Perfect, man. Don't let him get those angles.
No hesitation on your feet. And if you're going to throw kicks, remember, throw your hands first, okay?
Here we look at it. He's going to fully extend the hips. I thought he had him right when he rolled him here. And look at this, spins out of it. An amazing escape.
And then a strong finish, leaving an indelible impression in the judges' minds. The end of round 1.
Tying up the arm, throwing the bombs. And Matt Hughes able to outposition Carlos Newton on the ground in the first round.
The corner's clear. Everton McEwen and Terry Riggs, Dr. Paul Beyondich, Sid the Jewel Vanderpool, as Hughes going in towards Carlos Newton, looking for the big takedown. Good avoidance by Carlos Newton.
Look for the high amplitude slams.
Newton's been doing a lot of boxing training with Sid the Jewel Vanderpool, top 10 ranked professional boxer, but from the ground, that does not matter. And this is where Hughes wants it, ground and pound, side position.
Look at Hughes. Great control of the hips, keeping him in close, making Newton unable to get his guard back. Look at Newton trying to roll through.
Oh, and he does, but eats a knee in the process. Hughes tangles again. You might just get your chess match that you want here, Jeff. Couldn't throw him, but took him down. And Newton has him in the guard.
Newton almost did a somersault, looked like a video game. The quick transition, back and forth. And this is a chess match. This is as close to playing human chess as you will get in the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Well, the amazing thing is well-trained, especially as these two competitors are, the slightest mistake can mean the end to the night. One mistake. I mean, Pat Miletich felt he was dominating Carlos Newton, made one mistake. Newton got his neck, cranked it in, and Pat Miletich was no longer champion. That loss avenged by Hughes, and now Hughes tries to win again.
Sorry about that, Mike. So much is riding on this for both.
No.
Trap that near arm between your legs.
Rocky II type ending. That's one of the most memorable finishes. You know, we've had some great knockouts, especially one earlier in the card tonight. But that finish that took place at Newton and Hughes 1 is going to be talked about for a long time.
Just the power and strength, the control of Matt Hughes. But they have to stay busy or McCarthy will stand them up. Trying to get him pinned to the fence and apply a little ground and pound here is Matt Hughes. Hughes the champion.
Hughes is just showing dominance on the ground. I didn't quite expect this from Matt Hughes. Look, he's tying up Newton's arms, not giving him an inch.
Come on, we gotta do something. Let's go. Come on, Rap, you're not doing nothing.
A warning from Big John, so let's do something. Look there, he's trying to tie the arm up once again. If he ties it up, he can throw some big rights. He's landing some elbows to the ribs of Carlos Newton.
Newton was all fired up about fighting here in England because he's a linguistics major anyway back in Toronto. So he said, I love the language. I love conversing with the Brits, the eloquence of proper English. He wants to put a proper finish to what he thinks should happen in this fight. Trying to spin out of the control of Matt Hughes.
There is some wrestling 101. Hughes has got him pinned. And ties up the arm again. And this has been one of the most respectful crowds, respectful of the ground game. And there's that push-off elbow.
Side control again.
Keep pushing that down. He's cut. He's cut. Keep going.
And listen to Newton trying to buck him off. He's expending so much air, so much energy.
Well, this is where the strength is such a huge factor. You know, we laugh about it. Matt and Mark fighting on the farm, growing up.
Yeah.
Well documented, described in many different ways.
Make space.
And he's still using those elbows. Miletich yelling, he's cut, he's cut. It's not a big cut at all. Oh, that was a stiff elbow.
Matt's high school football coach told me there were plenty of fighting going on at the Hughes farm. From Hillsboro, Illinois. Bordering Illinois and Iowa. And smothering Carlos Newton here. Final part of round 2.
Newton should try to get to his knees. I think he's going to fight better from his knees. That one.
Oh, another big shot. Forearm shot by Matt Hughes.
If Newton didn't get cut off that one, I will be amazed.
And another one. And another big shot by Matt Hughes.
He's got the arms tied up.
The round is over.
And the longer it goes,
hey, if
I
you
am
get
not
the chance,
sure who
though,
to favor in this
remember,
one.
switch back and forth, sit out and trap that leg there. Then you can keep here and just keep fucking punching, okay? You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful, Matt.
Hey.
Can't lose another one. That's a bad cut. That's a bad cut. You got to move, right? You got to circle to your left. Remember? Circle to your left. Take away his shoot. When he goes in for the shoot, you got the counters. Let it go, right?
Your belt.
Right?
Your belt. Okay.
Vaseline. I need a lot of it.
Make it
A
happen.
lot of it. Where? Terry, give me a lot of Vaseline, please.
Give me some water.
Water.
Everton McEwen in the corner saying that is a bad cut. Got to protect the
I
cut.
need Vaseline on my hand.
Do that.
She's going to put it on the back of my hand. A lot of it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, come.
Why?
Water.
It's
Water.
right underneath the eye. They're not going to stop the fight for a cut underneath the
Come
eye.
here. Come here.
As long as Newton is not on his back and the blood does not leak into his eye. Set to go. Round 3 of a potential 5.
Let's get it on!
The field. Oh! Matt Hughes goes on. Carlos Newton with big rights. And it's back on the ground again. This time, Newton has his guard and he's holding him in tightly. He will be unable to use his hips as he's pressed up against the fence. As Matt Hughes went high with that kick, that's something you will rarely. Oh! And Matt Hughes displaying his dominance once again.
It goes back to the strength factor and that wrestling mentality and his ability to overpower.
Back him off, Carlos.
I will say that Matt Hughes' skills have continuously improved. I take nothing away from him. He is one of the strongest. He has the strength, but he also has skill.
Well, remember his only loss in the octagon was against Dennis Holman. He was armbarred in the first round. He avoided the armbar here tonight.
And that is a hard knee to Newton's ribs on the right side.
And another. It took him until the 4th round to defend his title at UFC 36. He's on the same pace here tonight.
He's become a more methodical fighter than he used to be. He used to go in, try to grab the guy, take him down, throw him, smash him into the mat. So he is a more poised and professional fighter now.
Just so patient. And I think that has a lot to do with the mental progression that Matt Hughes has made as a fighter. Not so much the physical progression. Confidence, being a champion, understanding and answering the demands of championship.
I was watching Carlos Newton. It appeared he wanted to go for a knee bar, but Matt Hughes.
Oh, another shot by Hughes. Carlos trying to work a limb. Hughes uses that strength to push through and delivers another shot to Carlos Newton and another after that.
Hughes' submission defense is just drastically improved.
Well, he'll give all credit to Jeremy Horn for that.
I feel that the longer this goes on, the more dangerous Carlos Newton will get.
Why?
He just has that huge arsenal of submissions. And Hughes may get a little confident. I'm not sure. I would. Oh!
A big shot, and he finishes with the push by the elbow, and now comes back with the right elbow on Carlos Newton.
The longer it goes and he absorbs blows like that.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, though, because overconfidence can turn out to be fatal. And you don't know
look
it's
at
admitted
this.
to.
Look at this. He is working for a mount.
And he has it. And he's got Newton pinned against the fence. Good shot combination. Matt Hughes trying to finish off Carlos Newton.
Carlos Newton.
Neither fighter wants to leave a doubt when this outcome, be it one way or another, in which it goes, is determined. And so far, it's all the champion, Matt Hughes.
I have never seen Carlos Newton in this much danger in any fight that he has ever been in.
Matt Hughes still has full mount. And as you pointed out, Jeff, look how patient he is with it.
Yeah, he's not getting crazy. I mean, used to, he would just throw anything.
Now there's a big left and another left. Continuing to punish Carlos Newton.
Look at this.
Finish. Does he have it?
He's trying to pump it around. Look at that Hughes.
Carlos in the guard of Matt Hughes. But Hughes went for a submission.
I said, look at Matt Hughes, but now look at Carlos Newton.
Newton trying to get his back. Is this the point of overconfidence, going for the submission and allowing the reversal? Will they actually stand up again? Oh, my.
Newton has one hook clearly in.
Look at the clock, though. 17 seconds.
You got 20 seconds. Let's go.
15 seconds.
This is that chess match I wanted.
You got it. And so does the entire mixed martial arts world. It's a good thing this didn't happen earlier in the round, because this round is over.
A strong finish for Carlos Newton. But I got to give that round to Matt Hughes.
The minute he went for the submission, Jeff, and maybe that was thinking, all right, I'll get the master at his own traits.
Right?
Bam!
You let him down underneath.
Put him in his first precarious situation.
You're swinging right up the bat, all right? Going low, it's going underneath you.
We're working way out, fourth round.
Right?
Okay, let's go.
Come on, he's tired.
You
He's
need
making
these
all
last
sorts
two,
of mistakes.
okay?
Right? He's making all sorts of mistakes.
Your fucking arm. You can't
Use your
armbar you,
legs.
okay?
Use your legs to buy time to catch a win. Use your
Wet my
legs.
body, wet my body.
Wet his body. What? Use the
Wet my
towel
head,
for
We got nothing left for you. You feeling getting
tired.
weaker? Yeah.
If he's crowding inside when you're trying to drop bombs, use some
Look at him. They're working on him, buddy. They're trying to put him back together. Okay? Deep breath.
There you go, guys.
Hey, keep your head clear.
Lots of highlights in that round. Some rugged knees colliding with impact by Matt Hughes. Let's take a look at this. Here are the heavy-handed shots.
Are you ready? Let's get it on!
As we start this fourth round.
Fourth round here in our welterweight championship fight. Hughes in the red and black trunks. Lerone in the Warrior. Carlos Newton in the white trunks.
Newton.
It's interesting, the corner of Carlos Newton said on numerous times he's getting tired, he's starting to make mistakes. Wait for your opportunity. Will that opportunity come?
Newton looked a little wobbly coming out for that. I don't know if he's playing a game with Matt Hughes. Newton is not a guy who's going to gas.
And Hughes will tell you, neither should he. He said in his recent training he knows the fourth and fifth rounds are going to be mine because he's been doing so much more intensive training since becoming champion. He understands that to not gas gives him an opportunity to hold on to this belt for much longer.
And he gets one leg through Carlos Newton's guard, looking to pass the other right leg of Matt Hughes through. And he could be sneaking up for mount. Look at that. A beautiful move. Just hopped completely around and ends up in side control. And we're seeing Newton being dominated on the ground where he's most comfortable.
Stick the arm, let's go, push him off, push his face off. High, low, Carlos, push his hip in his head.
Carlos Newton concentrated heavily on his striking skills in preparation for this. But was it at the expense of his grappling training?
And we have never really seen anyone show the ability not to be taken down by Matt Hughes. Coleman perhaps, as he earned the armbar early.
Matt I don't think we will ever see Matt Hughes make that same mistake that he did against Dennis Hall. These two are the epitome of Ultimate Fighters.
Keep working. Let go of that
Dragon
glove.
Jiu-Jitsu and the Miletich fighting systems. 2 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in what has been a very successful evening here in Great Britain.
Matt Hughes working the forearms and elbows down again. Look at the swelling over the right eye of Carlos Newton. He has a very, very bad cut underneath the eye. If it's open and he's on his back, potentially that blood can come into the eye and hinder Carlos Newton's vision. If it was standing, it would be okay. And on the ground, he's got to be leery of that cut.
Now Newton, who always says he started training in martial arts because some kid stole his lunch money, wants his belt back. But right now, he's going to have to do something drastically different to regain the title.
There's the push-off forearms and elbows again.
Those are starting to take their effect. Hughes is striking from side control without becoming vulnerable with the arms or the limbs, and that's the key, especially against a masterful Carlos Newton.
His arms are tied up.
He's teeing up, and it is over! It's all over! Matt Hughes has defeated Carlos Newton again, and Hughes remains the welterweight champion! John McCarthy stops the fight.
Love you too. Awesome. I got something.
You just wore him out.
Flat out wore him out.
Matt, do you have teeth? Got his teeth?
Tooth. Your teeth.
Your teethus. Let's go in the cage.
You're coming in the cage.
There will be no controversy and no discussion that it leaves any doubt in anyone's mind now.
Had to get you on TV, Steve.
Let's see how he finished it.
Here he is, both arms tied up. Newton has a look of frustration, and he takes 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's about all it takes in the sport of ultimate fighting. When your arms are tied up and you cannot intelligently defend yourself, it's time to stop playing the game.
He remains the welterweight champion. Matt Hughes.
Good job, buddy. Thank you for the tape job.
Scary how much this fight ends up being like the one in which he defeated Sakurai. Finally overpowering his opponent with strikes, a stoppage a couple of minutes into the 4th round.
If there were any doubts in anyone's mind, honestly, I had doubts that he could beat Carlos Newton tonight. There are no doubts anymore. Matt Hughes is the best 170-pound fighter in the world today.
Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big hand for these two UFC welterweight warriors. Referee Big John McCarthy stopped this bout due to a tap out at 3 minutes, 37 seconds of the 4th round. For the winner, and still the UFC welterweight champion of the world, Matt Hughes. Let's have a big hand for Carlos Newton.
The belt remains around the waist of our champion, Matt Hughes. 3:37 of the 4th round. Carlos Newton defeated again tonight. He's with Ryan Bennett.
All right, guys, with Carlos Newton now. Carlos, I tell you what, great fight. That 3rd round, it looked like you had a little bit of momentum, but I tell you what, he was so tough tonight. What was the difference in this fight tonight?
Well, I worked in his jiu-jitsu game, which caught me a bit off guard. And he fought with a lot of heart, First time I've ever been beat up like this, and yeah, he's the best.
Carlos, and he even surprised you a little bit with an armbar. Did that shock you when he put an armbar on you?
No, I actually gave him the arm so I get out the bottom, and it worked.
Carlos, I know it's just right after the fight, but what can you take from this fight, and what can you do to kind of regroup here?
He's gonna push my game to another level. You know, I'm gonna be a much better fighter. You know, I did one thing I wanted to do tonight was never give up. And I think by the look at my face, you could tell I didn't give up. And, you know, I'll be back.
He will be back. Carlos Newton, very classy guy. Let's go over to the champion. Matt Hughes, the big fella, continues his dominance. He is no doubt, the strongest guy at 170. And Matt, just talk about your fight. It was incredible.
By far, Carlos is my toughest opponent. Without Pat being in the weight class, and I don't know a whole lot about Anderson Silva, there's really nobody to even compare Carlos to. So I tell you, I think it's all in how the cards fell tonight, and I got past that first 30 seconds where he had me in the armbar, and cards just fell my way after that.
You mentioned an armbar. What are you doing pulling out an armbar, man, in that third round?
Most of it was Carlos getting a little fatigued. It really wasn't my technique any.
Let's talk about, what did you learn from the first fight to this fight against Carlos Newton?
I knew I could beat him. I thought I won the first round the last time we fought. So I knew if I put 5 of those rounds together, I could come out with a decision. Never did I think I'd even come close to getting Carlos in a submission or even stopping the fight. He's that top level quality that you want here in the UFC.
Matt, what does it mean for you to finish the fight like you did tonight?
I would rather finish it with a big strike and a KO and a submission than a referee stoppage, but hey, it didn't go 5 rounds, so I'm pretty happy.
What's next for you? You're the champion. Everybody's shooting for you. What do you see out there, man?
I gotta look around. I gotta watch my tail. There's a ton of good guys. You didn't see the fight. Gil Casino and Tony Zuzousa. They're gonna be tough. Sean Shirk's gonna be tough coming through the matches here in the UFC, and I'm just lucky Robbie Lawler's on my team and he won't fight me.
All right, folks, you heard it. He is the champion, undisputed champion of the UFC, Matt Hughes. Mike, back to your ringside.
Great job, Ryan, and a great job done by the champion. No longer is there a doubt. Matt Hughes defeats Carlos Newton. And under this 400-ton dome, Hughes takes a big bit of weight off his own shoulders. John Goldson, our UFC cornerman for a day, obviously feels the disappointment of Carlos Newton, whose corner he spent the day in. To try to become part of the action next time, log on to UFC.tv to enter our Cornerman for the Day contest. And congratulations to John spending some time here in London, England with Carlos Newton in his corner and being octagon side for this another memorable welterweight title fight.
Getting a round of applause reminiscent of probably Romeo and Juliet, who has played this building several times. As I said, a very respectful crowd, well received here in the UK, and I was proud to be a part of this. A beautiful, beautiful facility.
I think they got the tape on, John. So.
From Dillon to Hendricks to Sinatra, Phil Collins, Diana Ross, Paul Simon. Of course, we talked about Muhammad Ali, Sting, and Liza Minnelli. Tonight's night belonged to the welterweights, and in the end, it belongs to our reigning champion, that man, Matt Hughes. Now, don't forget, we still have lots of time with you this evening, and lots of fight action continues from our matches that took place before we came on live from here at the Royal Albert Hall. And we'll start with the very popular Elvis Cinek and a light heavyweight matchup against the Brazilian Babaloo.
This fight is 3 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Now entering the octagon is a Hughes Valley Judo and freestyle wrestling expert with a mixed martial arts record of 9-1-0. Standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 92.4 kilos, 204 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Please welcome Renato Babaloo.
So Renato Babaloo, so Brawl. steps back into the octagon. A good grappler. He is a great striker, and he also trains with Marco Hughes. Usually, when you say Brazilian, you think of jiu-jitsu, but this guy is one of the best Brazilian wrestlers out there.
Devastating with the knees as he works against his opponent tonight, a Brazilian national Muay Thai champion just a few years ago. Here is his opponent this evening.
Now entering the octagon is an expert in Machado Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Bulldog Muay Thai fighting. He holds a mixed martial arts record of 4-5-1. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 91.6 kilos, 202 pounds. Fighting out of Sydney, Australia, he is the King of Rock and Rumble. Please welcome Elvis Sudo Submission.
Stepping into UFC for the 4th time, Cinek has proven to have good submissions. His defeat over Jeremy Horn comes to mind, a very long reach, and he has worked on his striking skills. He's also sporting, obviously, a new haircut tonight.
Tail of the tape for this light heavyweight matchup between Babaloo and the King of Rock and Rumble, Elvis Cinek. Cinek 31, 5 years older than Babaloo. Reach is an advantage for Elvis Cinek. Weight not a factor here this evening. Cinek last time in didn't agree with the quick stoppage and has lost to Evan Tanner. He has something to prove here tonight. He is quite skillful and creative on the ground.
Got your mouthpiece, your cup, everything ready? Let me see your gloves. Looking good.
Last checks by our referee, Big John McCarthy. On Elvis Cinek, he has already checked the equipment of Babaloo. McCarthy set to get this light heavyweight matchup underway.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on! Come on now!
The tap and show of respect. And quickly, Cinek tries to get a kick in.
Tried to go high, Babaloo grabs it and throws one down the pipe.
What do we look for early here, Jeff?
You know, Elvis, I think Elvis is going to look to strike, and there's another high kick, swishing by the head of Babaloo.
Yep, Elvis is trying to strike. Babaloo so far, a good job on the defensive. Babaloo has great knees. And he wants to take down and gets it.
Come on, let's work.
Now this is where Elvis has not only reach standing up with his arms, but also on the ground. He went for a hook throw. Tried to get one hook underneath a leg and flip Babaloo over. Now, we've seen Elvis use these legs against Jeremy Horn. Horn said, "I didn't think I was in trouble." Next thing, he whips on that triangle combination armbar, and it was all over. Already swelling on the left eye of Babaloo.
Now Babaloo coming in at a weight I think he feels pretty comfortable at. 204 pounds, lost to Kevin Randleman, and attempted multiple submissions in that weight class, but his defeat was a win over Maurice Smith when he was a heavyweight. This is his 3rd appearance inside the octagon. Stablemate, of course, teammate of Pedro Hizos.
Cinek started, once he starts moving the legs up high, that is when you're in danger if you're in the guard of Elvis. And he started that a moment ago and then sunk him back down.
Well, Elvis certainly felt he had the advantage standing up. He knows he has to play his game, but one thing, Elvis is comfortable with his Machado BJJ, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background here on the ground. Babaloo, though, really likes it down here with his great wrestling skills.
Yeah, it looked as though he was going to open up with some punches. Elvis just threw a leg up high, and he saw it coming and just popped back down into close quarters.
Get out, let's go.
The lone victory for Cinek inside the octagon has been by submission. A stunning upset of Jeremy Horn with the triangle armbar. Babaloo trying to pass guard.
Elvis went for armbar. Babaloo just pulled the arm out just like a cat. Lightning quick.
Oh, good combination by Babaloo there. Almost faking and then coming down hard with the left.
One thing many worry about with Elvis is that big scar he has on his forehead, originally from Tito. And again from Evan Tanner, he got cut twice. And twice, in fact, his only 2 losses in the UFC have been stopped because of that cut in the same area.
Well, it opens up quickly. He's been doing everything he can to soften the skin and the surface around that area. So 1 or 2 punches that he doesn't feel are that dynamic or dangerous don't end the fight. Vitamin E, whatever it takes, moisturizer. Cinek's been applying it for weeks and months to his forehead. No damage done really by either fighter yet. Cinek had the arm for a second there, Jeff.
He did. Babaloo pulls it out, clears the elbow from danger. And there's some rights.
Yeah, big rights there by Babaloo, answered by Cinek from the ground. Elvis trying to spin those hips, pushing off the fence without holding it. Babaloo now in the side position.
He's trying to push those legs down and pass.
Oh, big left there by Babaloo.
Now that armbar's in.
Oh, my goodness. Babaloo broke through it. Pure strength there.
And there's that leg reach again, and there's a cut on the forehead.
Keep it going.
Of Elvis Cinek.
That's that same place, Jeff. At least from our vantage point,
yeah,
it looks like the same exact place.
This may not be good for Elvis. It is in the same place.
Yeah, same exact spot. But Elvis doesn't seem any worse for wear.
A lot of times a fighter will think he can go on. He's perfectly fine physically, but it's just the danger of losing blood. He's in no danger right now, obviously. But again, a fighter is perfectly fine. He thinks he's fine, but you don't want to let a fighter go on if there's a cut.
Oh, a big drive there. Just over 30 seconds remains in round number 1. Elvis Cinek back in the octagon against the Brazilian Babaloo.
There's a nice right hand from Elvis from the bottom.
But big rights return by Babaloo. And now he continues to barrage Elvis Cinek. Elvis covers up. Elvis wants to get out of this position. In the guard, Babaloo doing a ton of damage.
Elvis keeps going for the arm bars. He almost had one cinched in.
10, let's go.
But Babaloo is so quick. And he was throwing those hammer strikes. Left, right, left, right. He's got to make Elvis think twice without going for a submission.
Round 1 to Babaloo.
A bit of water. Take your mouth gut up. That's a good start. Don't let him stack you like that. When he's don't let him get your legs over your. Don't let him get your legs over your head. Okay. Use your feet in the hips. The long legs. Good reach. You're staying off the fence
he
well.
He got in the position to deliver punches to Elvis Cinek, and he did so with great frequency.
Okay.
Take a look once again. Babaloo throwing thunderous rights, one after the other. Cinek takes some looks at him and fires some right back. And there, once again, the reach of the legs coming into play. He's able to push off the fence. As Babaloo continues the onslaught. And that cut in the same place. Babaloo may look to open that up and get that TKO victory or a referee stoppage.
We talked yesterday about if Elvis is going to earn a victory by submission, he might have to get his submission on the way down. What do you mean by that?
Babaloo is a good wrestler. He's always going to shoot for that double leg. And when he does, Elvis has the reach that he could possibly go for.
Elvis wants to keep it standing here. Elvis has got some Muay Thai skills. We know that.
Elvis likes the high kick.
Yep. He's got the reach advantage here, too. Babaloo just with those great wrestling skills. Spinning back fist blocked by Cinek, and then a great takedown. That was a good sequence by Babaloo. That's impressive.
That kind of stuff will get you on the highlight reel very quickly.
Of course, if you're Shoney Carter and you actually land it, you get on the open of the show.
There goes Elvis, working the left leg up high. If he can swing that around, cup it around the chin, around the neck area, force Babaloo's head back, he could get the arm. He's got to isolate the arm, though.
Well, Elvis admitted he knew he was in against a very dangerous fighter in Babaloo. Very well versed, very diversified in wrestling, kickboxing, and of course the skills on the ground here with the stripes.
Now, Babaloo has a victory over a former UFC champion, Maurice Smith, so he can definitely handle the stand-up game.
That was in his debut way back UFC 28.
Right on top of the action. Cinek very aware of the fence. He's controlling the hands of Babaloo.
You know, when Babaloo faced off against Randleman, it was wrestler against wrestler, and Randleman's so powerful. Babaloo looked for submission. He couldn't land any. Lots of times Randleman pulled out using pure strength. Cinek certainly not that same type of advantages Randleman would have over Babaloo on the ground in terms of strength.
Right, obvious strength advantage is going to go to Babaloo. Elvis, a very long and lanky. He's not a muscular fighter like Kevin Randleman, but that's where he compensates with the reach.
So both let's go. Round 1 and round 2, it did not take long for Babaloo to bring it to the ground, as he's doing here inside the Royal Albert Hall in London, England.
Halfway there, let's go, halfway there.
Reaches up and tries those hammer throws, as you called them before, Jeff, again. And now smothers Elvis Cinek.
Elvis makes great use of his legs. He's able to extend them. He can push his opponent back a foot away to where you can't even get a punch.
Let's go.
He also uses the push off the fence like he did just then. And Babaloo throwing the hammers back down.
Babaloo calls his best weapons heavy punches. We've seen a handful of those delivered to Elvis Cinek so far here, reaching now past the midway point of our 3 5-minute rounds that are scheduled for this light heavyweight bout.
Babaloo is telegraphing those armbar attempts just as,
Good combination, left, right. See, he brings that body up, Jeff, and then when he forces the body in, he's having good fortune landing the punches as he comes back down and is bear hugged by Elvis Cinek.
Those were right on the button. A good thing for Cinek, that cut doesn't appear to be bleeding anymore.
Nope. Well, Leon Tabbs, one of the best in the business, doing a great job between rounds to control the swelling and the bleeding of the cut on the forehead of Elvis Cinek. He wanted to be able to go a while. He wanted to be able to demonstrate his skills. This fight has started to go a while now.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Now Babaloo has to stay busy, or they'll stand it up as McCarthy's right on top of the action.
If it is stood up, all it takes is that split second to turn the tide.
Big right again. Just a snap of the fist. And a forearm that delivers on Cinek. So busy enough to keep it where he wants is Babaloo.
He's got to protect the cut, protect his head.
See, he tries to come down, Jeff, with that force of the body. Work right through that guard of Elvis Cinek. Oh, that was a big right. See, he's teeing it up. He's looking for his chance. What does Elvis do here to defend?
Needs to use the legs, extend them back, possibly pull him in and look for a new opening.
There he covers up, and so Babaloo goes to the body. Oh, and another right. Final seconds of round number 2. And Babaloo finishes impressively.
Big John telling him to hold it right there. They may be checking Elvis.
Babaloo helps his opponent up. What a show of class. The thing about this sport, the respect the fighters have for each other.
Don't let him stack you, okay? He's just setting up that right hand. He's just setting up that right hand every time. Okay? He's getting tired, so I want you to start attacking him with punches as well. Okay? Use your foot and your hip. Make him turn. Get off the fence. Okay?
That's Anthony Peroche, a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner in Cinek's corner. Take a look. If he would have raised it up a foot higher, been in a little bit more, he would have connected. but he shoots a quick double leg and puts Elvis on his back. And from here, Babaloo picks his shots one by one.
And it threw off the defense of the takedown of Elvis Cinek just that split second, Jeff, because you could see he raised the arms as if another shot was going to come in with the hands. And that's when Babaloo was able to shoot in and get the double leg takedown.
Yeah.
Got right for the waist, and down he was.
I wouldn't expect a guy throwing a spinning back fist at me to shoot a double leg immediately after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back it up, third and final round. Back, stay
third
right
and
where
final
you're at.
round.
You ready?
Babaloo wants to get
You
to
ready?
the center of the
Let's
ring
get
and try
it
to
on.
end this
Last
thing.
round, come on.
They tap again. Cinek. He wants to stay standing as long as possible.
I would try to go low now if I was Elvis. Babaloo's expecting that high kick.
Yep.
There's one right to the midsection of Babaloo, but he's reading him and throwing right hands.
Babaloo doesn't mind forcing the pace, and he does again, and down goes Elvis. So every time Babaloo's wanted to go down, Jeff, he's been able to take the fight where he wants it.
That's probably one of his biggest weapons, is that big double leg takedown. And he's been able to use that. You know, he gets him down here, and there's a lot of swelling starting to happen around Elvis's eyes and nose.
Wrestling 101.
And no matter how long you drill takedowns, if you get a guy like a Randy Couture in there,
Come on, do something with him. You want to stay there.
They're going to take you down.
Babaloo, the South American wrestling champion in '98 and a three-time Brazilian national wrestling champion. Adding the striking skills to that and demonstrating them very well here this evening in London. Oh, that one really made some noise. 340 remains.
Elvis has got to think about a different game plan here. Possibly instead of a closed guard, he could switch to a more open guard. Go for those sweeps. Elvis is pretty good at sweeps.
Babaloo's just mixing them up well, Jeff.
I think he knows he's got Elvis where he wants him.
Yeah. Oh, there's another right.
That one hurts.
And he gets a left in and another combination. Babaloo really in control of Elvis Cinek.
Camera's right on top of the action. You can hear the amount of energy these athletes expend.
Great job done here by our friends working on the crew.
Stop it right there. Stop right there. Time.
They're going to check on Elvis Cinek.
Yeah, the mat's covered.
Yeah. Do a little cleaning.
Doctor, step up.
As the doctor comes to check on Elvis Cinek.
Want the doctor. No. Look at his eye. You know it? Yeah. Stay tall, let's go.
They are modern day gladiators, aren't they?
Absolutely. Elvis walked to the corner and said, no, as if he doesn't want this to happen.
Let him go.
A third time.
Okay, Doc. Yeah. Back to corner, let's go.
As always, as you know, of the utmost importance is our fighter's safety. And a great cheer from the crowd as Elvis wants to continue. Goes high with the kick and connected.
If I was Babaloo, I wouldn't try to get cocky and stand. He has this fight won. One false mistake. If he shoots for a double leg, Elvis should think about throwing that knee right up the middle.
He had nothing left in the gas tank there. Nothing you could see. Elvis really exhausted because he didn't even try to defend that takedown.
Yeah, there's more on his mind than Babaloo. I think he's thinking about the cuts and protecting his head to avoid. And it's looking bad.
It's really looking bad. It's coming out now. Babaloo in total control again with the fight on the ground.
I think this cut is right above the one they just checked. I can't tell if that's on his forehead or above his eye.
That might be the eye, the same one they checked, Jeff, because it was the left eye.
Looking good. Come on, guys.
And it just came open again with the pressure, even of a push of the arm on it. Can Elvis do anything here? Can he work towards submission?
He's got to open the legs up, got to start working the legs up high, or...
Does he make himself vulnerable in any way when he does work the legs up high?
Yeah, he does. If once he lets loose of the head, he's trying to control the head, control the hands. If he lets loose, he's going to get popped.
You could see him thinking about the legs there just momentarily. As Babaloo, one of the Marco Huas Valley Judo students, very impressive here tonight in the UK. The first time the UFC has come to the UK. The historic Royal Albert Hall in London, England.
Work it out.
45 seconds remains in round 3.
Yeah, Elvis has multiple cuts.
Yeah.
It's not just one. There could be potentially 3 big cuts on there, but he's got to do something. He's got to open up right now. Now is the time to do it. Take the risk and go for it. There you see it. He's going for it. Had to reach underneath the leg, throw his left leg over for an armbar. And Babaloo wants to stand.
That surprises the heck out of me.
Oh, he's going for a spinning back fist. He thought about it.
Elvis. See now,
and now Cinek. He's got the single. He's driving it.
But time will expire here, Jeff.
I got to give him an A for effort for going for it there.
Absolutely. Babaloo, impressive. Cinek determined.
Hey, towel on that board. Put that towel and clean him up.
They are modern-day gladiators, like we said before. Leon Tabs, our cut man, best in the business, long-time experience in the sport of boxing, has worked many fights in his 3 decades plus. Evander Holyfield, Bone Crusher Smith, amongst the many. And Elvis did not want the fight to be stopped, and he deserves credit for that.
Yeah, once he walked in that corner and said, no, 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 he knew it was coming again. There's a very, very hard right hand. And that, you see it opening him up right there. And that's where the blood started coming out. And from then on, I think he strayed away from thinking about his game plan and thinking about his cuts.
Let's get the official decision as the judges have rendered it. We go into the octagon. Bruce Buffer.
Come on over here, baby. Outstanding job, baby. What was that last bit of stand-up? What was that last bit of stand-up?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge Doc Hamilton scores the fight 30-27. Judge Jeff Mullen scores the bout 30-27. And Judge Cecil People scores it 30-26 for the winner by unanimous decision, Renato Babaloo.
Babaloo, a unanimous decision victor over Elvis Cinek. So a fine showing for Babaloo as he defeats Elvis Cinek by unanimous decision. And a game opponent was Elvis Cinek as he withstood the pressure and, as he mentioned, did not quit when Babaloo had clearly overwhelmed him throughout the evening. Quieter now at the Royal Albert Hall than it was throughout the evening when the Brits shined so brightly. But certainly it is nice to see a great evening, a successful evening here in Great Britain. Light heavyweights also on that preliminary matchup included Evan Tanner, as Evan Tanner took on the Aussie newcomer Chris Haseman. And early Haseman looked good, but so did Tanner. Tanner, of course, utilizing his grappling skills and his skills of ground and pound. Evan Tanner will tell you he's not the world's finest wrestler, but he is training with some of the world's finest wrestlers present day. And that enabled him to pretty much do what he wanted to do in the ground game. And that was get into positions where he could ground and pound. And in the end, he did it enough to earn himself a unanimous decision victory over Chris Haseman. So a job well done
by none other than Evan Tanner, whose only defeat continues to be inside the octagon, that devastating loss to our light heavyweight champion, Tito Ortiz. Our submission of the night, as I bring back in my partner, Jeff Osborne, brought to you by Tap Out, and it certainly goes to Genki Sudo with the rear naked against Lee Remedios.
Yeah, that was poetry in motion. He flipped around there, looked like a tornado, and he got the rear naked choke. And the submission of the night.
Brought to you by TapOutInYourFace.com. But what an evening it was here at the Royal Albert Hall, and we continue with great action. Coming ahead for our fans in North America, the premiere of UFC 37.5 from the Bellagio in Las Vegas, August 16th. That will come your way, our fans in North America. And then our next live event will be UFC 39 coming up in September, back in the eastern states of the U.S. Log on to UFC.tv for all the updates from tonight's great action, which climaxed in the victory for our welterweight champion, Matt Hughes. UFC.tv, your website of choice. And Jeff, you know, you talked about it. There was a buzz in the room. There was a reaction by the fans here in Britain, all in anticipation of their own fighters, but also for you and I in anticipation of settling the score.
They've accepted this UFC with open arms. I think the sport can do nothing but grow. As we look around the arena, there are people waiting and waiting to meet these fighters, and we don't see this normally in the United States. This is something new for them, and they've seen a lot of great fighters here tonight. Mark Weir having a great performance, Ian Freeman, and Matt Hughes. I got to take my hat off to him once again.
Matt Hughes does it, and does it in impressive and definitive fashion. And just one final point on the reaction of the crowd here at the UK. They got pretty much what they wanted. They got a couple of British victories, and they got some seriously game opponents.
Oh, they got knockouts, submissions. You had great human chess matches. Couldn't ask for a better show tonight, and we couldn't ask for a better crowd. I love it here in the UK, and I hope we come back because this building is phenomenal.
130 years old. The debut of boxing was in 1908, and the gates were opened today for the sport of mixed martial arts for the first time in Ultimate Fighting history. A special night indeed. It began, of course, with Philip Miller and James Zikic. As Miller, the American, taking on the local, the Brit, James Zikic. He showed some great heart, but in the end, Miller, the wrestler, trained by a former UFC competitor, was too much for the Brit. And how about the entrance and the pageantry shown by Genki Sudo against Lee Remedios, and bam, how quickly the talent shone through. A show it was, slow it was not. The rear naked choke in the victory for Genki Sudo. Speaking of quick, Eugene the Wolf Jackson, victimized by Mark Weir in 10 seconds, the fastest knockout in UFC history. Weir, the first Brit to win here in Britain. And then we moved on to Frank Mir, undefeated, his 2 fights taking place in Vegas against the machine, Ian Freeman, who knew this was his coming out party. This was the most important night of his life, and he succeeded with style, with class, with power. Freeman from Sunderland won big. And then the one we waited for, Newton and Hughes. Again, the continuation of the debate which began back in November. Rolling out of an armbar early was Matt Hughes, learning from his loss, his only UFC loss to Dennis Hallman. And then relentless pursuit of his ground and pound tactics. Newton still was in it. He tried to counter. He looked for armbar. He looked for opportunity. But tonight it was not there because Matt Hughes was at his finest. And in his finest, he reigns victorious. Matt Hughes, in the 4th round, would force the referee to stop the fight. And for Carlos Newton, the dream would not come true. And the belt which he believed was on loan continues to be around the shoulder of that man, our champion, Matt Hughes from the UK. So long, everybody.